You found Radio Free Tennessee. Your Tony Basilio show will begin momentarily. Keep it locked in right here at TonyBasilio.com and on your Tony Basilio app. And hey, do us a favor. Spread the word. Another award-winning, thought-provoking, action-packed edition of the Tony Basilio Show is coming up next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com, home of the Tony Basilio Show. You found the Tony Basilio stream at TonyBasilio.com or on your smartphone or tablet. Another thrilling, chilling, and sometimes spilling edition of the Basilio Show is on the way next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com.
WJBE 1040 AM, 99.7 FM. Translator W259AB. Powell, Knoxville.
Bino's over here shaking in his boots, ladies and gentlemen. I just don't know what to do with myself, on a Friday. Because Bino's, he's shaking in his boots. Bino, would you find that be an accurate depiction of what you're going through right now as you learn of Michigan's fate today? Aren't you shaking in your boots, Bino? This big breaking story here.
I'm always shaking, Tony, but Michigan's probably got nothing to do with it.
Well, it's been reported now that the Michigan Wolverines are being fined north of $20 million. Sharon Moore gets another game suspension on top of the 2 that he's going to serve this year. My favorite thing about Sharon Moore's suspension is his 2-game suspension. It's not going to happen the first 2 games this year. So he's going to coach in the Oklahoma game. He's also going to coach in their season opener against New Mexico. He's going to sit out the, ironically enough, Central Michigan game and Nebraska game. And why is Central Michigan, why is that ironic? Because that's the same exact club that Connor Stallions, who now has an 8-game, count them, ladies and gentlemen, an eight-year show cause, an 8-year show cause for Connor Stallions. You talk about a dupe, a dope, a mark, a sheep, a fool, a lemming, a sucker, a loser. That's Connor Stallions. Just an absolute spedster. Bino, he was completely in love with Michigan. He did all that stuff because he was just so enthralled and enamored with Michigan. And now he's got an 8-year show cause, and he is persona non grata in college sports. And you would have thought that Jim Harbaugh, who gets a 10-year show cause for his problems, you would have thought that Jim Harbaugh would throw that guy a lifeline, Bino, after getting him a national championship. But no, sir. He's run from him like he doesn't even know him. He's like, I don't even know who the guy is. Connor Stallions, never even heard of him. And that's that, Bino. They won a national championship. Now, do you think Jim Harbaugh cares today, Bino, that he has a 10-year show cause now that he's in the NFL coaching?
I doubt Jim Harbaugh knows he has a 10-year show cause.
Okay.
And the only thing that would be better in this at all is if they had suspended Sherrone Moore for New Mexico and Central Michigan and let him coach the 2 games afterwards against Oklahoma and Nebraska. That would have been a Florida-like suspension there. That would have been perfect.
Well, I mean, what they're doing.
Urban Meyer suspension.
And then he gets another game suspension, but they're going to let him serve that 1 game in 2026. So he gets another game suspension added to his deal. But here's the big question.
I'll go with Eastern Michigan.
Here's the big question. If they had to do that all over again, knowing what they know now, knowing they would have won a national championship, Bino, would they do that all over again?
Absolutely.
No doubt. And if you tell me with a straight face that you think they wouldn't, they could care less. It enriched Harbaugh. He won a national championship. Bino, do you still consider them national champions, or do you put an asterisk by it?
No, Tony, I still consider them national champions.
Brian Hartman, do you still consider them a national champion, or do you stick an asterisk by it?
Well, they had to go out and win the game, so yeah, they're still the national champion.
Okay.
Or else why play a season?
Okay. All right. Because this thing, I had a friend text me just now, and he's like, why didn't they make him give their national championship back? And I'm like, why would they do that? They won a national championship. Brian, do you believe that Connor Stallions shared the information that he gleaned on the Vols that year with his friends over there at South Carolina? Do you believe that was part of that really strange game at South Carolina?
Yeah, I do think there's something to that.
Bino, Jeff Henderson, do you believe that?
I don't think it changed the outcome of the game at all.
Bino going old school on me here. Bino going old school on me.
I think we stunk that day, and they pulled our pants down.
Bino going old school. Oh, freaking skill. We come
just
back
like I consider the Houston Astros World Series champion. I don't care what they were banging on. It didn't make any difference. They had the best team.
I remember the year the Phillies got caught. They were in the outfield, and they had those little binoculars. Somebody caught them stealing signs, and and then after that, they went on a cold streak. After they didn't have the answers to the test. So we'll
I'm
talk
an old
about
school
that.
baseball fan, Tony. I kind of like a little cheating with my game.
One thing we'll talk about later on today. By the way, the great Chris Lofton's going to join us later on in the hour. He's going to be hosting, and there's a big event coming up this weekend, an opportunity for you to see some incredible class of 2027 players that are coming in this weekend. He's going to walk them around over at UT, but they're also having a meet and greet. And I'm going to let him tell you about that, along with Troy Whiteside later on in the hours. Troy and him are going to be here. And they've got the number one point guard in the country in the 2027 class here, and some other guys as well. And they're doing an event tomorrow. We'll share that with you. Maybe you can get out and see these guys and get some stuff signed. I'll share with you the coordinates here a little later on, but could be a big weekend for Tennessee hoops, these guys coming in. In the meantime, we'll come back on the other side. We'll get the great Mike Huguenin in the hunt and in the mix, and in the mix, and in the hunt, and in the hunt, and in the mix. It's ironic that Michigan who we're talking about here, because there's a prognostication out there that Tennessee and Michigan will play in a bowl game. There's also, Brian Hartman, close your ears, a prognostication out there that Tennessee's going to play in something called the Texas Bowl, Bri. A December 27 kickoff at 9:15 in the Eastern Time Zone, Bri. The Texas Bowl, Bri. In Houston. Do you sign up for that, Bri? The Texas Bowl.
Absolutely.
Take a brief time out and come back with more after this.
Are you searching for a great local coffee? I'm Billy with Grade A Grounds. You can buy our freshly roasted coffee online and support a good cause with every sip. Great coffee, greater causes. Visit our website today, gradeagrounds.com.
Only 2 more homestands to see your Knoxville Smokies in action. Join us next week for All-You-Can-Eat Wednesday, Titans Night on Thursday, with a chance to win tickets to an upcoming Titans game and autographed jersey. UT Night on Saturday with a free Dylan Sampson bobblehead giveaway, and fireworks both Friday and Saturday night. Don't miss your final chances to see your Smokies play in the brand new Covenant Health Park. Get your tickets now at SmokiesBaseball.com.
Knoxville Smokies.
The end of summer means big savings and no more excuses to not call Pipe Wrench Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Don't let plumbing or HVAC problems follow you into fall, and take care of them now while the kids head back to school. Whether it's a leaky pipe, outdated water heater, or AC unit struggling to keep up, the expert team at Pipe Wrench is here to help you transition smoothly into fall with a home that's running efficiently and worry-free. This month only, enjoy 10% off any plumbing or HVAC service, including repairs, replacements, or maintenance. And Peace of Mind Maintenance Plan members will get an additional 10% off for 20% in total savings. From repairs to tune-ups to replacements, we'll help you check home comfort off your end of summer or back-to-school to-do list. We make it easy with free on-site estimates for replacements and free second opinions on repairs. And if budgets are tight, we offer flexible payment plans including 0% financing with credit approval. So don't let HVAC or plumbing issues slow you down this season, and don't delay as the offer ends August 31st. Call Pipe Wrench at 865-264-8090 or book online at pipewrench.com to schedule your appointment today. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free.
Life never stops moving, and between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to Grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up, a tire designed for doers, a tire that's going to last, like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Are you stuck in a dead-end job or ready for a new challenge? Do you feel like it's time to try a new career? Well, it's time to change lanes with TLD Logistics. My friends at TLD Logistics have some really exciting opportunities for you to learn a new skill. With a new 5-acre driving academy that's now under new leadership with all new course material. And the best part, it's absolutely free. What a great deal to set you on the road to higher pay. And TLD Logistics even offers weekly stipends to offset food and gas expenses. In 6 weeks' time, you could complete this course and be in compliance with FMCSA regulations. Then you're ready for the open road of opportunity. What are you waiting for? It's time to change lanes with TLD Logistics. Visit tldlogistics.com. That's tldlogistics.com. TLD Logistics.
A lime is not always just a lime. You see, some limes are lucky. For when a lime joins the salted rim of a crisp, refreshing Tres Dos Equis, that lime is no longer a mere lime, but a wedge of renowned Mexican limón. Muchas gracias, limón. And also, de nada. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis, imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Hey there, Basilio family. Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. The countdown to fall football is on. Is your fall plan missing the perfect home to watch the Vols make another playoff run? If a new view is on your game day checklist, I'm ready to help you find it. Don't wait until kickoff. Give me a call today at 865-694-5904 or visit my website at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, their Mama Zizi approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and Zizi.
One more thing, Tony. Go Vols!
Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw. Available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good.
All right, to the great Mike Huguenin, who joins us now on this Friday. A question for you, as I welcome you in. What do you think of What do you think of the NCAA's ruling on Michigan, Hughie?
I have not seen that yet.
All right, let me lay it on you. They're getting a $20 million fine. The head coach, Sharon Moore, gets another game, rather. So now he's got a 3-game suspension, but he gets to serve that next one in 2026. Connor Stallions gets an 8-year show cause. Jim Harbaugh gets a 10-year show cause. And by the way, that is it. They get to keep their championship, and it kind of is what it is. And they're now on 4 years probation, whatever that means. They also get a 25% reduction in football visits. They also get a 14-week prohibition on recruiting, communication. You talk about a joke.
I don't know. I think I'm surprised. I think it's obvious that the NCAA found reason to believe they cheated. The idea that Connor Stallions got an 8-year show cause, I don't think I know of many, if any, longer than that. Harbaugh obviously has left already. The $20 million, that's a lot of money for most schools. It's not for Michigan. But, I mean, I don't know if people thought they were going to be forced to forfeit games or give away their title or something, but that forever will be known as an extremely tainted title because they obviously found evidence that this school cheated by breaking the rules on sign stealing. So I think it's that to me is on a scale of 1 to 10, that's not a 10, but I would argue that's a 7 or an 8 because $20 million. That's in this era. That's a lot, and my presumption is the University of Michigan will tell the athletic department, "We're not giving you that's all your money." Maybe the boosters pony it up or something, but that's still $20 million they can't spend on players. And the show cause penalties are now. Granted, I don't think Stallions was ever going to get hired again, and Harbaugh will never come back to college football. But that to me is a flashing red sign that Michigan's 2023 national title is exceedingly tainted.
Yeah, it's tainted, but here's my question for you. If they had a chance to do it all over again, and they knew they were going to end up winning the championship, right? Winning
they
the
probably
natty.
would do the exact same thing.
Yeah, there you go.
But, Harbaugh, the thing is, that he has said we didn't cheat. Obviously, he lied, and it's there's a lot of fan bases that are sort of uppity. Michigan's is up there, and they no longer have everybody's doing what we're doing. No, they're not. So, and this is proof. But again, I think that people who thought they were going to get their title stripped were a little bit Pollyanna. But it's that $20 million. I'm assuming that's going to be not that the NCAA is going to be involved in this stuff anymore, whatever that CSC thing is or whatever it's called. But hitting schools in their athletic department wallet does make a difference now.
Bino, do you get a sense that the Michigan people have always kind of held themselves up like they're different? The whole concept of the Michigan man, and this is who we are, and you're just like the lowly University of Tennessee fans, and I follow the Michigan men and the Michigan way, and they brought one of their own back, and he won him a national championship, but he's brought him disgrace here.
And it is that's an interesting word you use, disgrace, because yes, they won a national title, and they probably would do it again. At the same time, and I'll be interested in seeing what Harbaugh says about all this when they interview him at Chargers practice today.
My other thing that the Harbaugh thing that's interesting is he acts like he doesn't know the Connor Stallions guy, and the Connor Stallions guy is like persona non grata. And if Harbaugh was a decent dude, he'd carve out a role for that guy on his staff with the Chargers, and they'd live happily ever after.
Yeah, I think though that I thought he was a high school coach in Michigan.
Well, that's my point. Why doesn't he?
Well, I don't know. Maybe he likes being a high school coach, but no, who would you rather? Where would you rather live, San Diego or anywhere in Michigan? I think most people would choose San Diego.
And Harbaugh's acted like he doesn't know who he is. Too,
right, true.
Which is
and the
really
whole thing
depressing.
was, he was always this is not a big deal. This is not a big deal.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's going to be. I think also now, if you're Michigan, you're like, just give Sharon Moore the game this year, because this keeps that story alive for another season. So that's interesting too, because there's going to be certain fan bases that are going to delight in the fact that your coach, your program cheated so much, your coach got suspended in 3 different seasons.
The other thing that's weird about the story is that when you hear more 2-game suspension, so I'm talking to somebody before I got started, and I said, oh, well, he's going to be out for the Oklahoma game.
No, he's not.
And then you read further, right, he's going to be out for the Central Michigan and Nebraska game. I mean,
right.
Why wouldn't you just serve the first 2 games?
That was, if I'm not mistaken, that was Michigan saying we're going to suspend him for 2 games, and there'll be games 3 and 4 of the 2025 season. Yeah, and I guess the NCAAs are like, well, they did suspend him. That is interesting. The idea that they're going to play. He's gone through the entire preseason practice. He's going to coach the first 2 games. He's going to miss the Central Michigan game where, who cares? And that's the irony of the Central Michigan game, of course, is that's where Connor Stalions was found on the sideline.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we were just talking about that. Yeah, it's so great.
And then the Nebraska game, that's interesting because it's a conference game. But you're right, the idea that it's not the first 2 games. And my presumption is they will not let Michigan choose the game Sharon Moore's suspended for in 2026. But again, I think that's it. The story has legs now into the 2026 season, and that to me is, you're right, the Michigan men ideal is going to get slapped around for another year now, which is, I'm sure, fine for every other school in the Big Ten, because from what I have been told and read, a lot of athletic departments don't like Michigan.
Bino the Great, do you find this to be comical, sad, somewhere in between? Where are you on this Michigan thing now that we ponder it?
Yeah, I think it's comical, Tony, for the reasons that you talked about. The Big Ten has always been or has always appeared to me to be somewhat of an elitist conference that thinks they're above the shenanigans of college athletics, when in truth they're as embroiled in it as anyone, anywhere, anytime.
Exactly. And these are the AFC and NFC going forward, and they're no different than we are. I mean, they could act like they're different, and they're high-minded and all this nonsense. They're trying to fill their coffers just as quickly as we're trying to fill ours. All right, Hughie, let's do buy-sell trade here. You ready?
Okay.
So ESPN has some rankings out. And by the way, the great Mike Huguenin joins. And we'll go around the room here on this one. Okay? There's a guy named Kyle Bonagora, and he and Mark Schlabach are both Mark Schlabach, who we've known forever. But I call him Schlabach because that's how the late great Larry Munson used to refer to him when he helped him out on their broadcast. He goes, "Let's go to Schlabach." So Schlabach has Tennessee versus Iowa State in the Texas Bowl in Houston on December 27th at 9:15 Eastern Time kickoff. Kyle Bonagora has the Vols playing Michigan, ironically enough, December 31 in the Citrus Bowl. Hughie, if you had to choose one of those, we're going to go around the room, you, Bino, and Brian. You had to choose one of those. Who's more correct here, Schlabach or Bonagora?
Schlabach.
And why do you say that?
Because I don't think, I guess it all depends on how many. There's going to be 4. I would think 4 SEC teams in the playoff, at least 4. And the Citrus Bowl, that would mean that Tennessee finished 5th or 6th in the league. I don't think they're going to finish that high.
Fair enough. Let's see who they have in the just to get a cursory look at this. Playoff wise, they have Boise playing Georgia in the 12-5. They have Miami, Notre Dame.
That would be a rematch.
Arizona State, Alabama, LSU, Oregon, and then the top four are going to be Texas. And who are the other top four?
Penn State, Ohio State,
Penn State,
and
Ohio State. You got it. Yeah, it's all the same.
Okay. Wait, what's the fourth? Texas, Ohio State, Penn State.
The 3 is Ohio State, and the 4 is going to be. I'm glad you asked me that. Texas is one of them. Penn State, Ohio State, and then Clemson. Yep.
Where's Georgia in that crew, Tony? Did you mention Georgia?
I did not
5,
mention.
He said.
Yeah, Georgia 5. Georgia 5. Yep.
Okay.
So that means Tennessee would finish 5th or 6th in the league. I think that's too high.
Because that's how you'd have to get to that game on the 31st, right? That's kind of what you're thinking.
Right, because the Citrus, I believe, has the first pick of the non-playoff teams.
Okay. Bino, Jeff Henderson, who's closer to more accurate, Schlebach, who has us playing on the 27th in Houston at 9:30 at night, or Bonagora, who has us playing December 31 against Michigan?
Tony, I'm going to say that that Tennessee slightly surprises by winning 9 games, and they're above the Texas Bowl. I don't know if there's anything in between those two.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be above the Texas Bowl, but I'm not sure they're going to be in the Citrus.
There are a handful of games in there. Yeah, that's why I'm asking you who's more right. So you think Bonagora
I
is
will
more
go
right?
I will go with the Citrus is more right because I believe they'll be in a higher bowl than Texas.
Because Hughie, correct me if I'm wrong. What the pick by Schlebach connotes is a 7-5 season, right? If you're there on the 27th, yeah. Okay, Brian Hartman. Right now, as we sit, the second scrimmage is currently going on over at UT. Where are you, Brian? Who's more right?
Well,
is Brian in the stadium hiding?
Yeah, he's hiding. Go ahead, Brian.
I think that usually I'll go based on geography. The Texas Bowl likes to take teams that are sort of in the western part of the SEC, and that included the old West Division when they had divisions. So I'll say just based on geography that the Citrus Bowl prediction is closer to being correct because I don't think the Texas Bowl has ever had like a Georgia, a Tennessee, a Florida, a South Carolina type.
That's an interesting point, too, because I would think that the Texas Bowl would obviously A&M, or I don't think Arkansas is making a Missouri. Heck, I think they'd rather have Auburn if Auburn gets there than Tennessee, Ole Miss. That's an interesting point geography-wise. I just think the bowl level-wise, the Texas Bowl is more in line. But, yeah, I would find it hard to believe that Tennessee would end up in the Texas Bowl for the reasons Brian just said. The geography does not work. And especially in this day and age, if you're not in the playoff, your fans are already a little bit rambunctious. And if you're going to try to entice them to go to a bowl game, I don't think you want to entice them to go to Houston when they can go to somewhere closer to home.
Yeah, and goodness sakes, I know every fan base has some woolly ones, but who in the world's going to travel, unless you live down there, to go watch the Houston Bowl? Good.
Right, and
9:15 at night.
I think that's Brian's point. If you're in Arkansas, again, Arkansas is a bad example, but in Texas A&M, it's basically a home game. Ole Miss, not that far. Auburn, it's closer than Knoxville. So I think that's a very interesting point. Missouri as well. So
Higgy, it's a lot of fun right now because coaches are going to get fired, right? And that's kind of what we're doing. And they get fired earlier and earlier. And we were talking to Dudley Dawson yesterday, Arkansas, and he just kind of openly said Arkansas has got the type of schedule when you look at it that by the time Tennessee gets to them, 8 weeks from now, Pittman might not even make it there.
That's true.
What? Yeah, go ahead.
Interesting. I was also, though, talking to a couple folks the last 18 months or so. Okay, the transfer portal, it used to be you fired your coach early because you wanted to let the recruits know and let everything sort of reshuffle. Mm-hmm. I think there's a concern now that if you fire your coach in September, some of your players will say, I'm done, and start worrying about where they're going next.
Oh, yeah.
And not focus on, the retention is harder. This is what one or two people proposed. That retention would be harder if the sooner you fire your coach. You want to fire the ideal time would still be later in the season, where you can do stuff behind the scenes. Just don't fire your coach in September. So that's going to be interesting to see. And maybe the flip side is, no, get him out of here fast, so you let future players know that this will not be the guy coaching you. And also, if Arkansas is as bad as folks think, if a lot of guys transfer, no one cares.
So the sweet spot's later in the year, basically.
That's what two people thought would
that makes
end
sense.
Up being correct. And you're right. The I don't know, past decade, there were coaches fired in September. I don't know if that's going to. Their presumption was that's not going to happen now. I don't know if that's correct or not, though. So that's going to be an interesting thing to look at. But yeah, Arkansas's got Ole Miss and Notre Dame before they play. The thing is, I think he'll be there when they play Tennessee. Maybe, and the thing is, after they play Tennessee, they got Texas A&M, and they could possibly be 3 and 4. So I think then, yeah, I don't think Pittman's coming back. You wonder about Freeze coming back. They open with Baylor on the road. That will be a gigantic game, and that's a Friday night game. Kentucky, they would owe Stoops a ton of money. The idea that LSU would fire Brian Kelly, if they missed the playoff, I don't see that happening unless they go like 6-6. I don't think they're going to fire Jeff Lebby after 2 years, but if they go 2-10 again, I think Venables is interesting. They got Michigan in week 2. Let's see what happens there. And Napier could easily get fired, and the SEC is going to be interesting with its coaches this year.
Let me give you boys another multiple choice. Who is back in college football next year between these two? John Gruden or Jimbo Fisher? Who's more likely to get a college? Because both those guys are now campaigning. Well, or you can say zero, or you can say none.
Flu, or do you want to get?
Yeah, you feel about Gruden like I do. He's an absolute joke. But
Jimbo Fisher, man, he I don't know how hot a commodity he is. Somebody else asked me about Gruden.
Mm-hmm. Media loves him. Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a ton of baggage, but I think there are certain SEC schools that will say, all that baggage you got, bring it on. We'll build a building for it. You can put all the baggage in that building that we're going to build. So I think it would have to be a quote-unquote lower-tier SEC program, because I'll be honest, if I'm a black student-athlete, I don't know if I want to play for that guy, given some of the stuff he said in his emails.
Yeah, well, what's interesting about the deal, because he won a pretty significant win against the NFL this week, and the legal scholars say this sets up the NFL settling with him because neither one of those parties want discovery,
right?
In terms of, because the NFL certainly railroaded him out of their game, and then he certainly probably said some things in emails that he doesn't want out there. So it's going to be who's going to blink first. But Bino, I go to you. Jimbo Fisher, John Gruden, Tennessee's one-time white whale, or Beanstar and the groomers, nobody will ever forget it, or Bino, neither. Who's working next year in the deal?
I don't want to go back to my academic life and always choose none of the above, Tony. So I'm going to say Jimbo Fisher. I'll go with Jimbo just simply because he's more networked in the college game. And just an editorial, I think it's a shame, personally, that a likable guy like Sam Pittman is likely to get fired, and guys like Freeze and Drinkowitz get to continue on coaching. I wish they'd get fired.
That's everybody loves Sam Pittman.
Mm-hmm.
Other coaches like Sam Pittman.
Mm-hmm.
Players, when he left Arkansas, were up in arms that he left because they loved Sam Pittman. If you remember, Arkansas offensive linemen en masse went to his house to try to talk him out of leaving. So he is a well-respected, well-liked guy, very folksy, just by all accounts a really good dude. And I don't think anybody's going to sit here and say, Hugh Freeze, he's a misunderstood guy. No. Hugh Freeze is, forget the NCAA stuff. It's just his holier-than-thou attitude, and the dude's out there using university phones to hire hookers.
I love him.
And then, again, Auburn hired him, so I think there is an SEC school out there that would hire Gruden. Fisher, to me, is less likely. I don't think either one's going to be back, truthfully, but I think actually Fisher is less likely because what has he done lately? He has not had a legitimate team in like a decade. He's lazy. He never changed his offense. He's extremely thin-skinned. I don't know who would hire Jimbo Fisher. I don't know what major program would hire Jimbo.
To your guys' point, Sam Pittman was here in 2012 and was on a staff for 1 year. And people that interacted with him in the community talked about what just a down-to-earth, sweet, good dude he was. Just an earnest, kind of took time for people, cared about people guy. So good on you, Bino, to point that out. Hughie, last year we had kind of a quiet year in the league in terms of coaching changes. I think this year is going to be pretty combustible.
There were none last year.
Yeah, this year is going to be combustible.
I think you could have as many as 4.
Yeah, it's going to be combustible.
It's going to, and it's going to be that adds an extra layer of intrigue, especially again, like I said, Auburn opens on the road at Baylor.
Yeah,
Baylor finished last season exceedingly strong.
Yes,
I think if I'm Hugh Freeze, I don't want to play a legitimate team in week 1. In week 2, they play Ball State. I'd much rather be playing Ball State the first week than Baylor. And if they lose to Baylor, their first 2 conference games, the last 2 weekends in September, they're on the road at Oklahoma and on the road at Texas A&M. Then they come home to play Georgia. So if Auburn loses to Baylor, you're looking at a team that's going to start 2-4, and I don't think that Freeze. The back end of the schedule is exceedingly easy, but I don't know if Freeze can survive a 2-4 start.
I'll tell you, man, some of these schedules that some of these teams are playing in this league are
embarrassing.
Some of them are embarrassing, and some of them are really difficult. It's a weird mix this year. I guess that's the way these leagues are going to go with these schedules. Some of them are extremely difficult, and a lot of them are pretty easy when you sit back and look at them. That's why I think Alabama guys. I think Alabama's going to the playoff. I know they named Simpson, and people are kind of nonplussed by Ty Simpson. Ty Simpson's got to keep the car in the middle of the road and not be bad, and they'll go 10-2 there with that team they have.
Yeah, they play Georgia obviously on the road. I don't think they're better than Georgia, but I don't know. I don't know how good Georgia is.
No,
they're complaining about their offensive line depth, and I'm thinking,
oh boy,
what? All those 4- and 5-star guys? Come on, are they not coached? They get LSU at home, they get Oklahoma at home, they get Tennessee at home. They go on the road to play Missouri and South Carolina, which sandwiches the Tennessee game, which is interesting because Missouri, I don't know if you looked at Missouri's schedule. Oh, my God. Central Arkansas, Kansas, Louisiana, and UMass are their non-conference games. They open the season with 6 consecutive games at home. But that's a team that has a lot of questions. But still, it's nice to open the season. They don't go on the road until October 11th. That is to Alabama, but that's a pretty nice start to the season. Florida's got LSU, Miami, Texas A&M in a row, which is not good. Georgia's on the road against Tennessee. That's their toughest road game, and that's their first road game. Now, they do still, obviously, they play Alabama, they play Ole Miss, they play Texas. All those games are at home. They're playing Georgia Tech on the road, but technically that game's at Mercedes-Benz Stadium and not at Tech. So that's going to be more Georgia fans than there are Tech fans. So if they beat Tennessee, that they're not going to lose a road game. So even with that supposedly questionable offensive line now. So, but yeah, the scheduling, it's hard to gauge how strong certain teams are, but you can also look at schedules and realize that team's got it's a breeze non-conference for them. If they're not 4-0 after the non-conference portion of their schedule, something's wrong.
Huggy,
to your guys' point, listen to this disparity within our league. And now, of course, these are Phil Steele's projected strength of schedules. Georgia placed the 44th toughest schedule. Ole Miss placed the 48th. Missouri placed the 50th. Tennessee placed the 47th. And then you look further in the league, and you've got Mississippi State playing the second most difficult, Arkansas playing the third, South Carolina playing the fourth, Oklahoma playing the seventh, and LSU playing the sixth. So you got teams up there, about 4 or 5 teams around 50, and you got 4 or 5 in the top 10.
And guys, that's why these leagues are too big. You can't balance these conferences.
That's why you need 9 conference games too.
That's exactly why you need 9, and they're not going to do it.
Again, I think if anybody out there still thinks the SEC should play 8 conference games, all you got to say is Texas A&M has been in the league since 2012 with 8 conference games. Georgia has never played a game in College Station. That's embarrassing.
None of that makes any sense.
I think the 9-game thing is they could have made the 8-game conference schedule a little more uniform. They chose not to. I think if they go to 9, they have to make more uniformity in the schedule because, as Bino just pointed out, that's I'm in the SEC, but it's the schedule disparity is alarming, and that should be bothersome to every SEC fan base.
Huggy, give me a final thought on the way out. You've been incredible.
Yeah, next Saturday, week 0. It's a top 25 game, and they're played in Dublin, Ireland. I don't know why Iowa State and Kansas State chose to open the season away from home, especially given that's a rivalry that's been played, I think, since the 30s or 40s. The schools are not that far apart. It's easy to get to them. And it's a hugely important game. And again, I don't know why they're playing a key conference game in week 0 in another country. I guess it's a cool trip for the players, but if I'm a fan, I'm beyond ticked off. And plus, I think I've said this before, but Iowa State fans are known for their love of natural light beer. That Anheuser-Busch product that is god awful. I don't think they sell Natty Light in Dublin. So what are they going to be? Going from Natty Light to Guinness? That's going to be culture shock for those folks in more ways than one.
They're going to figure it out. Hughie, you're my man. You have a Dwight Gooden.
All right, man. Talk to you next week. Thanks.
The great Mike Huguenin. And when we talk to him next, it'll be football time in Tennessee. It's unbelievable, Bino, that we're 8 weeks away from week 0, 8 days away from week 0, 15 days away from the start of Tennessee's deal, and we'll get some stuff leaking out about today's scrimmage once the time comes. In the meantime, more on the other side as we continue. That's amazing after this.
Hey, Tony B listeners, I'm Billy from Grade A Grounds, a UT grad bringing Knoxville a better way to raise money. We roast premium coffee fully branded for your team or cause. You keep 40% of sales, and we donate 5% to local needs. Let's win on and off the field. Visit gradeagrounds.com to start your winning fundraiser today.
Living Vol fan, we're on the countdown to kickoff, and that means you need to make sure you are game ready. Head to Alumni Hall to get this season's Tennessee sideline apparel. Nike, Columbia, Peter Millar, and more. Shop top brands for the entire family. Hats, Yeti, tailgating gear, and so much more. If it's for the Tennessee fan, Alumni Hall has it. Spend $150 and get $10 in Hall cash rewards. Shop at alumnihall.com. Download their app or shop any of their locations in Knoxville, Murfreesboro, or the Tri-Cities. Alumni Hall, the ultimate shopping destination for Vol fans.
It's the hottest post-game show on the planet. Garza Law, fifth quarter fan reaction. Fan reaction. As soon as the final gun sounds, we're live.
Tony Basilio, and we are live once again with Chad Stockton of FC Alliance. And Chad, you're out there on the field, 100 strong here in Knoxville. Talk to me. What's been going on with FC Alliance now that the weather's heating up?
We're out here for the first night of the boys' tryouts. We have over 400 kids that'll be here tonight. So a lot of exciting times right now for us. Our club team start at U9 and we go all the way through U19. We have over 1,000 kids that come from Chattanooga from the Tri-Cities that make all our teams and make this club what it is today. So we're excited about it. We finished the younger kids a couple of weeks ago. We just finished the girls last night, and now we're on to our older boys program as we speak right now.
And we're blowing and going in the Tri-Cities. Tell me about it.
We started FC Alliance North 1 year ago, and coming off the first year, we are the largest, most competitive club up in the Tri-Cities area. We just finished our trials last night. Looks like right now we will be well over 400 kids for the upcoming season. So great things happening up there. We've put our boys into some really good regional leagues. So we're excited about what the future holds for them and also our girls programs.
If you want more information, check them out at fcallianceknox.org. That's fcallianceknox.org. Chad Stockton, keep growing the beautiful game here in East Tennessee.
Absolutely. Thanks, Tony.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Tony Basilio along with the great Mark Griffin. And we're here to talk about our friends at Performance Medicine. And Griff, their slogan, stay educated, stay healthy. That's you.
Wow. I really like to think that, Tony, and I'd like to give Dr. Rogers a lot of credit because I definitely want to stay educated and healthy, and knowing that he's putting the time and effort in to make sure of my care. I want to encourage your listeners to put the time to learn and become educated and get to know Dr. Rogers and see if it can help with your health as well.
And there's a really, really easy way to do that. In fact, they've got their own YouTube channel. You can see Dr. Rogers for himself with his staff. It's called The Performance Medicine Show over at the Performance Medicine channel over on YouTube. Also, more information at performancemedicine.net. To our friends in North Knoxville, a brand new location over in Fountain City, now accepting patients. So many ways to reach Dr. Rogers. And like they say, stay educated, stay healthy. Performance Medicine, online, performancemedicine.net. TB here for Cedar Bluff Plumbing, a live and local company that's been serving our area for over 32 years and counting, because every customer counts, and I mean no job is too small. Cedar Bluff Plumbing just voted #1 by City View magazine because multiple plumbing experts are on call to serve all your plumbing needs. Chances are there'll be a plumber in your area when you call, and they won't send some salesman to your house. You're going to get a high character, trustworthy, highly trained plumber who will serve you. Not like some of these guys that look like they came off the set of America's Most Wanted. Cedar Bluff Plumbing is Basilio tested and approved and will go the extra mile for for you because Chucky Mack is a servant of the people and my consigliere to the throne, celebrating over 32 years of serving living volunteers. Cedar Bluff Plumbing. Call 588-4448. That's 588-4448. Cedar Bluff Plumbing.
Attention Vol fans, are you tired of complicated, clunky fleet technology that makes your job harder? Say goodbye to frustration and hello to Connexial, your hometown partner in logistics. It's time to rev up your operations with next level fleet management from Connexial. Connexial is here to keep your business on track with technology that works as hard as you do. Our game-changing ELD gives you more than just hours of service. With AI-powered dash cameras and real-time asset tracking, you'll have eyes on the road, cargo, and your fleet from anywhere, anytime. And the best part, our friendly US-based customer support team is just one phone call away. No more long wait times or frustrating tech talk. Just real people with real solutions. With Connexial, you get a professional team you can trust and easy-to-use products that keep you on the road. What do you say, Tony?
I'm ready. Make the smart move and call Connexial today.
865-888-6920. Learn more at Connexial.com. That's Konexial.com. Drive life with Connexial and go Vols.
Basilio here, and you know my friends at Carnes Motor Company started with a dream over a quarter century ago. I met Rob and Brian back when I still had hair, and they were working at a huge dealership in West Knoxville. But they told me back then they wanted to sell cars on their terms, and I wanted to do radio on my terms. Their terms, just like my terms, are ultimately your terms. In both cases, you're the winner. A Car Guru's National Award winner with a 5-star rating on all sites, just like our Vols. Everything about buying a car from Carnes Motor Company is no hassle. They specialize in high-quality pre-owned vehicles between the $5,000 to $25,000 range. And if you need to sell a car, they'll either buy your car or they'll help you sell it. Carnes Motor Company also has a top-notch service department. Therefore, every vehicle is rigorously inspected and serviced prior to delivery, so you're guaranteed to get a quality pre-owned vehicle every time. If you need a place for service, they've got you covered. Come be a part of the Carnes Motor Company family and tell them you heard about it from me. Online at carnesmotor.com, Oak Ridge Highway, 1 mile past the Carnes light. Carnes Motor Company.
Yeehaw! Some people say betting online is still the wild, wild west. But with the VIP Play app, you're riding with the best. VIP Play app is hotter than a $2 pistol packed with flair. Live hosts and features finer than a frog hair. Send your old betting problems out of town with a slap. You'll be betting sharp as a tack on the VIP Play app.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
Download VIP Play today or head to VIPPlayApp.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-88-99789. Must be 21 plus and located in Tennessee to bet.
WJBE 1040 AM 99.7 FM.
Translator W259AB.
Powell, Knoxville.
Shout out to my Lady Vols who got it done last night against North Carolina. Beat number 1 Carolina. Bino called me, was totally fired up, focused, prepared, and said, "Did you see what I saw?" And the answer is yes, Bino, I saw what you saw. Without further ado, we're now joined by, and we'll have some stuff on the scrimmage, which just concluded over at the University of Tennessee. But we're now joined by Tennessee basketball legend. You bow thy head when you say thy name. The great Chris Lofton joining me, along with another guy who is basketball royalty in these parts, Troy Whiteside joining as well. They've got a huge event coming up tomorrow called Meet the Pros, and I'm going to bring both these gentlemen in and let them tell you about it. But they've got a young guy in here tomorrow for the class of 27 in hoops, those of you that follow it. Number 1 point guard in the country, a 5-star player, and several other 4-star guys. Many of these guys are people that I would think the University of Tennessee will be interested in, and that we're going to be seeing playing basketball in the near future, class of 2027 guys. So this is some exciting stuff that's taking place in our area. Chris Lofton, welcome in, my friend. How you doing?
I mean, I'm glad to be back. Tony, it's been a while. How you been?
Buddy, I'm still out here being a simpleton
like I always have been. You know, I heard you kind of laughing when I was doing the intro there, but yeah, man, I have not changed. And Troy Whiteside, I bring you in as well. You guys share with me, and welcome in, Troy. I hope you guys are well today.
Yep.
Hey, Troy, share with me what you guys are doing, and these kids, what program they're a part of, and all this stuff. Share us the backstory.
Great. Tony, let me start by thanking you for giving us this opportunity to come on to your show. We really enjoy the content every day. What we're doing first and foremost is we're not doing a recruitment visit for the University of Tennessee. This is absolutely a dead period. This is not a University of Tennessee associated event. What it is, though, Tony, is an educational event for the kids. One, they can get away, learn more about the greater Knoxville community, while at the same time allowing a lot of young high school kids and parents to come out and meet and greet some of the next best players that they'll see on the college level and eventually the pro level. As you know, Tony, this NIL situation has moved very fast into the college ranks. It's moving into the high school ranks now. These players that we're bringing in are players that's making six figures, high six figures in high school. So therefore, what we want to do is we want to expose some of the high school kids to what it would take from a student athlete, from an individual, from an athletic standpoint on how to reach these things. Make no mistake, the timing is good. Tennessee just reestablished a relationship with Adidas. Adidas plans to make Tennessee probably the face of their program in a big, big way. And guess what? Game Elite is already the face of Adidas youth basketball. So this is something that
Let's go.
Absolutely. So if you go to the 3SSB website, you're going to see on the front page and every other page the Game Elite. Game Elite is, and I'm kind of biased here, both my kids, Donovan and Troy, played at Game Elite, but in my opinion, they are the premier AAU program in the country. Most people know Jaylen Brown, Zion Williamson. Most people don't know we put one or two players every year in the first round. We have a lot of pros. We probably have 6 or 7 of the top 100 kids in high school. The kids we're bringing in tomorrow, you're probably going to be meeting 2 lottery picks, and you're probably going to be meeting 5 NBA kids. These are some really high-level kids. And with that being said, they get an opportunity to meet and learn about the greater Knoxville community.
Yep.
Well, we get another perfect storm. We have a great relationship with Chris Lofton. So how about these kids connect and meet with a real college basketball legend from a few decades ago and see the difference? And so we'll get to show them meet and greet with Chris and learn about Chris' story. And, of course, these guys probably won't be playing 4 years in college, but at the same time, they can learn what it takes to be a good person and a good college athlete as well.
Well, and tomorrow the event, Troy, is going to be held where? Share with people where they can get out if they want to come and meet and see these guys. And then I want to talk to Chris Lofton about his involvement here. But go ahead, share that with us.
Great. It's going to be tomorrow from 2 to 4 at Encore at 1016 Texas Avenue. And people can just come out, meet these guys, take pictures with them, get autographs, so that they don't look up 2 years from now, 3 years from now and say, You know what? I remember that kid. I remember he was right here in our community. I remember he was at Westtown and I've seen him, and I remember he was at Encore and seen him or heard about him, and I didn't go, and now he's number 1 pick in the draft. And Tony, let me reiterate. If you look at the NBA mock draft for some of these kids, they're already top 10 picks in the mock drafts. We expect them to be top lottery picks for sure. So this is a special group that's coming. Never before has this level of talent been in Knoxville at one time this young on the ground to learn about Knoxville.
When you reached out to me a couple days ago, and I appreciate you doing that through the great Charles Frazier, who's a nut job, but when you reached out to me, Troy, I got to tell you, man, I thought there's no way that's real. And then I went and looked that up. I looked your program up. I looked that up. And now you're telling me on top of that, because we didn't even realize this at the time, but now the Adidas thing is kind of in the middle of it. So that's sort of a sweetener. That they're already in the deal here. Chris Lofton, talk to me here from your perspective, right? When you played in like the archaic days before the wheel was invented, as far as the NCAA goes, like you rode your bike to practice every day and walked 10 miles in the snow, like our parents used to tell us. But what do you make, Chris, of this NIL era? And these kids are just kids, right? But yet they're already way up on that stage. And to me, like at one point I think, God, these kids are too young for this. And in another sense, it's like these kids are already learning about business. They're already learning about branding. They're already learning about the importance of behaving, and how to comport yourself. What do you make of this NIL era, CeeLo?
Well, first, I'm mad about it because I wish I could have got paid when I was at Tennessee playing. That's number one.
No doubt. There's no telling what you – hey, after you blew up, man, I can't imagine what you'd been worth your third year. Good gosh, man.
I'm missing out. I'm mad I missed out on the check. But other than that, Tony, I'm actually happy for the kids because, these universities have made money off, us playing for years, and I'm actually glad that, the kids are getting compensated for it. I think it's fair. And I'm excited for it. And, and I just wish these kids the best. And just hopefully they have, which I know the schools have, business people are teaching them how to, be smart with their money.
Well, and that's the other side of this, Troy. Like I was talking to you, you guys have a real interest in your kids and growing them as people, which is one of the reasons why. And again, I want you to tell people over on Texas Avenue, the event is going to be from when to when, because this really puts these kids out in front of the public, and it lets them get a taste of this. I think this is a good thing you guys are doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And Tony, let me emphasize this, okay? Again, my only involvement is both of my sons, who happens to be young attorneys now. Little Troy went to Cornell, played. Donovan went to UT Law School, graduated, and they're both Game Elite alumni, and they play with some great players, and they learned a lot. They learned what expectations are about. But in a city like Knoxville, a lot of times the young athletes only see the University of Tennessee. And so what we're trying to do is expose them that this is a bigger city and this is a great city for them to come and join this family the same way Chris Lofton did. So what happens is when you have a great institution like Tennessee and you have great leaders like you got over there, Randy Boyd, and you got a coach like Rick Barnes that has taken good players and turned them into great teams, make no mistake about it, what happens if he starts getting great players like it's a men's kid that he just got? Because these kind of kids, these level kids can change the fortune for not just the University of Tennessee, but they can change the fortunes for the whole city. So as the University of Tennessee athletics rises and continue to rise, so does the city of Knoxville. So does the greater Knoxville community. You got Tennessee Vol fans that expand down into the Georgia area, and we have a lot of kids that love Tennessee. So we need to be more proactive to let them know that, hey, this Knoxville community welcomes you here. The same way Chris feels welcomed, we want these kids to feel welcome, and we want them to know it's more than just sports. We want them, if they don't make it to pros, we want them to be young doctors and lawyers and things like that. So we associate them with the alumni. That's what Donovan Troy and them did, and that's how they built friendships throughout the Game Elite program. And I can promise you this, the coaches at Game Elite, the managers at Game Elite, Coach Josh, Coach Ryan, Coach G, they are all about success for these kids, on and off the court. These are good kids with an elite level of talent that you normally won't see. This Nasir Anderson kid is the best of the best.
That Nasir Anderson guy, I looked him up. That guy can play, man. I mean, wow.
15 years old. 15 years old.
15
years old.
Jeez Louise. Hey,
he's just, and wait till you see this 7 foot, wait till you see Camario, wait till you see, remember Coben. He's going to translate to a Miles Bridges type player, and he's going to end up, in my opinion, and I could be, I ain't the greatest basketball mind, but he'll end up being a 8 through 12 pick in the NBA draft in a couple of years. This is the real deal. These are all kids that, we don't interfere with recruiting. We want Tennessee basketball. Dominon's a big fan, and, I can't get none of these kids to Cornell. I can't get none of them to Cornell.
That's right. That's right. That's
but,
right.
But
let me ask you. So tomorrow, once again, let's repeat this.
Yep.
Tomorrow, these kids are all going to be in a room along with the great Chris Lofton, if you're to come out.
Yes.
And they're going to be hanging out, meeting,
Yep.
signing, taking photos, the whole thing.
Yes.
And where is the event and what time?
1016 Texas Avenue from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. And we implore people to come with their questions. Come with their questions about NIL, about how to deal with NIL, how to deal with the shoe companies, how to deal with Doritos, how to deal with these big Fortune 500 companies that's throwing, unimaginable amounts of money at 14, 15, 16-year-old kids. And that's what we're trying to do, is educate the young parents and the young families on how important it is that they understand how that process works.
You're unbelievable. You guys have been incredible. Chris Lofton, true or false, you will walk those kids around my great University of Tennessee tomorrow and show them best and brightest. And where will a meeting with me come into that? Have you carved out a few minutes? Because I know the coaches can't meet with them, but Lofton, that I'm what would you like, a legend? I don't know what you would call him in my own mind, but what time is my meeting with these kids? When do I get my 5 minutes alone with them?
You tell us. We'll make time for you, Tony. You tell us.
Only one condition, Tony.
Yes,
you let us change your name from Tony Basilio to Tony Basilio Show. The Tony Basilio Show for one day, and you tell us where and when, and you'll get to meet every one of these kids, and you'll get to hear them tell you yourself how good they're going to be.
I've been called a lot of things, but Basilio, that's a first. So kudos to you. Hey guys, I really appreciate both of you. Once again, shout it out where it's going to be, because I know CeeLo's going to walk those guys around UT tomorrow and show them the love. So again, to the community, Troy and his operation, they're bringing some incredible players. These guys are incredible 2027 prospects that are going to be here tomorrow. If you can get out there tomorrow and show these kids a little love, who knows what it'll mean. And at the very least, you get to hang out with my boy Chris Lofton, who's incredible, who is a legend in the heart, VFL, FL, no doubt about it. Once again, the time and the place.
1016 Texas Avenue, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. And one last thing. The next time they come, we're going to bring Jaylen Brown. We're going to bring Caleb Holt. We're going to bring some even bigger stars with it.
Oh, Brian Hartman's getting excited about Jay.
We're going to bring some bigger stars with it. And we may even, if it's possible, I may even bring Troy Jr. all the way from Dubai. I may bring him back just so he can be on the tour next time. How about that?
I'll tell you one thing, boys. You guys got it going on. Hey, thanks once again. Appreciate you all.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, you guys have a great one, and both of you stay healthy. Be blessed, guys.
Right.
Thanks.
Thanks so much, Tony.
Yeah, you got it. So tomorrow, 1016 Texas Avenue, 2 to 4. I punch it in your put that on your phone right now and get over there and see those guys. That's a lot of fun. Tennessee just scrimmaged. Bino, Jeff Henderson, are you buying, selling, or trading these comments? Josh Heupel on Joey Aguilar on the second scrimmage. I thought he handled himself extremely well. He's gotten better every single day. He's extremely comfortable in what we're doing right now. Bino, Jeff Henderson, buying, selling, or trading? Say that again, Bino.
I will buy that.
Let's go. I'll buy all that. You can sell me. You want to sell me that? I'll buy that and a whole lot more. Some other comments from the great, and I do mean great, Josh Heupel. He's handled himself extremely well. That's today. I think he got better from day one up until today's scrimmage. He handled himself extremely well. At the end of the day, that guy, whoever we name as a starter, just has to manage our football team. Sideline situations, game clock situations, play clock situations. Heupel went on to say today's scrimmage was thud for the first team defense. Bino, what does that mean, thud? So what they did is they did thud
That
tackling.
means you hit them, but you don't take them to the ground, Tony.
That's right. They thudded them. They thudded them. Heupel goes on to say a couple projected starters, Ricky Gibson, Josh Josephs, Jeremiah Thielander, have been banged up during fall camp. He went on to say this scrimmage gives us an indicator of where we are today. We're still 2 weeks away from kickoff. There still is a lot of growth that needs to happen. He said today that Mike Matthews made some big plays down the field. He said he thought the passing game was good today. And also said the tight ends stood out. So he shouted out Mike Matthews and the tight ends. And in pure Chris Brazzell form, Bino, Chris Brazzell did not participate in today's scrimmage. These wide receivers, they can't get them all on the same field at the same time, Bino. It's the damnedest thing I've ever seen. On Boo Carter, he said he was out there with us today. He got work. End of the day with Boo, it's day to day. Also, on the change to Adidas, he said we're fortunate. Had a partner that wanted us to make us their flagship school. It's going to happen in a lot of different ways. Going to be a benefit for our football program, our athletic department as a whole. He also shouted out Lance Hurd, who we've been telling you has really taken a step. In fact, he's corroborating a lot of what we've been reporting behind the scenes here. He said it. I said it earlier in training camp. The guy's just in a better spot. What he's done with his body this offseason. He talked about his running back room. He said we're probably as deep as we've been. He also went on to say there hasn't been a recruit in recent memory who's made a decision based on the school's apparel deal. So that continues. There we go. McCoy continues working on the field but didn't scrimmage today. And that's a look at your camp. And then, of course, we'll talk to some sources once I get off, and we'll have a full, unvarnished report for you. But that's the head coach and what he's sharing. And I got to tell you, I'm buying a lot of that. And I really want to believe on Joey Aguilar, and I really want to believe on that passing game because that has to happen. The strength of their receiving game is going to be their tight ends. And, Bino, I'd get ready for a lot of 12. I'd get ready for it, my friend.
Yeah, I think everything points to seeing a lot of 12, Tony. The lack of depth, especially proven depth at wide receiver. I'm very hopeful that everything that he says about Matthews is correct. Yep. He's the key to that entire unit because of his versatility and his upside. And if he can be everything he needs to be, Tony, I think with our tight end group that we can find the 2-3 guys to complement him. But he's got to be the horse, especially now that Boo's kind of taken himself out of the picture.
And the fans are some of them, are tore up about the Adidas Nike deal. Look, they're going to go with the highest bidder. It's the way it is. They almost quadrupled what they were getting paid from Nike. They were an afterthought to Nike. That was not a good deal for Tennessee. I don't know how much of that money is going to filter to players, and I'm with Heupel. I don't know who makes a decision based on, for instance, as we said in the blog yesterday, Nate Ament
already has a shoe contract with somebody else, and he's going to play here. Same happened at Rutgers last year with 2 5-star players. This wide receiver Tennessee's involved with, the 5-star kid who's committed to LSU. They're a Nike school. Tennessee's an Adidas school. Is it going to matter? I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't hold my breath, though, for the school sharing their revenue with those kids, which is being purported. Now, could Adidas share additional revenues with those kids? I guess. But, Bino, are you thinking that Danny White's going to cut some money off for those kids, off their deal, seeing the way they operate? Are you because that's what's being sold to people. I will have to see that to believe it.
I would have to see that to believe it at any university, Tony.
Thank you. It's not how these people operate. It sounds good. To me, it's enough. Hey, you quadrupled almost what you were getting, and somebody's going to put their arms around you and love on you. There's nothing wrong with that. But that's a money deal. That's why they did it, and that's okay with me. That's okay. But the rest of it, then they had to sell it to fans the way they sold it, because fans want the Nike thing over the Adidas thing. But I got news for you: you're not ever going to stay with somebody when I can make 4 times the money off somebody else, and become either 1 or 2 in the league, depending on who you believe, in terms of total revenue from a shoe company. I saw where Tennessee's way on up there with their deal, and Georgia and Florida are down toward the bottom. All that simply means is their deals have to be up soon, because these things are exploding. The revenues there are just like the revenues in all these sports are exploding. I sit there 10 years ago, Bino, and say this thing is going to pop at some time, right? And then I see where the NBA franchises are getting sold for billions and billions of dollars. The Dundon guy who owns Carolina's NHL franchise paid several billion for the Trailblazers. And I think Brian Hartman's Celtics just sold for billions and billions and billions of dollars. It wasn't but 30 years ago when the Dallas Cowboys changed hands for a few $100 million. And we thought that was crazy. Maybe the bubble's not going to burst on this stuff, Bino. Maybe it's not.
Tony, as a fan for apparel, I've always liked Nike stuff better than I like Adidas stuff. But you show me an athletic director that's going to accept significantly less money from one company as opposed to another, and I'll show you an athletic director that's going to get fired.
You got that right. No doubt about it. And like Throaty wrote today, is it going to help in recruiting? Yeah, I hope so. Now, you just heard Troy Whiteside on here with Chris Lofton. They got 5 incredible players that are going to be here tomorrow. These guys are 4- and 5-star kids in the 2027 class, including the top point guard in the country. And they're going to be around this weekend. And that's an Adidas program they play in. So that stuff like that is not going to hurt. That will not hurt that you're now aligned with them. So let's go back to our phones. Some interesting information there. And let's get Negadave in here. Negadave, welcome in.
Hey, guys. How y'all today?
Hey, Dave. How you doing, buddy?
Getting back like the receivers.
Yep.
Chris Brazzell. I'm not worried about those guys. I'm not worried about somebody like Chris Brazzell. Guys played a lot of football.
Yep. Played it very mediocrely. He played it very mediocrely.
Show up on Saturday. A lot of those receivers last year and the year before didn't practice, didn't go through a lot of stuff, and they protected. What's his face? I can't flip my mind. Number 15.
Talking about Joe Milton. Talking about Joe Milton.
No, Brew.
Nico.
They protected Brew. He sat out a lot. It is what it is.
Well, here's the difference, though. Those
I thought
guys.
That was encouraging news about the passing game. And they're going to run the football. This is Hughie or whatever. I just don't agree with a lot of what he says. This team, the worst that Heupel's done here is 4-4 in conference. For them to go 7-5, something really would have to go wrong. I think that they're either 8-4 or 9-3, and it's going to be depending on that Oklahoma game. That Oklahoma game is going to be the game that decides whether Tennessee, and they may slip and they may get another one. They may get 10-2, but that Oklahoma game is going to be the game that they're either going to be 8-4 or 9-3.
If that team went 10-2, I would walk naked across the Gay Street Bridge, bro. That ain't happening. I love you, and I love your show, and I'm for you, not against you, and I'm for the Vols, not against them. That team is not going 10-2. But moving along, Hughie, Bino could be right. You could see a 9-3 this year from this club. The thing about 7-5 is, and I hadn't even thought about it, but you're right. They would have to go 3-5 in the league to get to 7-5 because that Syracuse team is not beating them, and there's nobody else in their non-league schedule that's going to beat them. So that's a point well taken by you.
Yeah, that's 4 wins, and then they play the preseason, the 4 worst teams in the conference.
Yep.
And the Oklahoma game is basically the game that will decide whether they go 9-3 or 8-4, most likely.
Yep.
And Tennessee's played pretty well at home under Heupel.
Sure, they have.
I mean,
listen, when you start talking about a couple wins over, it's like the caller Josh told me the other day. When you start talking about beating Alabama a couple times and a couple wins over Florida, around here we ain't giving that back, man. Nobody here is giving that back. Okay.
So, Heupel, listen, I didn't think they'd go down to LSU back in 2022 and blow them out, and they did that. That's really Heupel's coming out party with that game.
Yep.
Going on the road and winning down there like that. I don't know. I'm cautiously optimistic.
I love it, Dave. You've had a face turn, man. You've had a face turn. How about these great prospects being in the area tomorrow from that Adidas program, Dave? You ought to see some of these guys, man. They're 4- and 5-star players. They're all going to be here. What a great opportunity.
Oh, well, listen, recruiting Barnes has always done well there. I mean, and with the portal, he's doing well. He surprised me with that. I hope he stays as long as he can, and I hope we can get over that hump and get to the Final Four. But
they've added that Berg guy because you and I both knew they needed an off guard to make their team more complete. I give them a lot of credit. They could have sat still, walked into the season, and had a gaping hole there. But they added a guy that's basically a European professional level player. Now I hear they don't know whether he's heavy legged or not, if he's going to be able to guard at this level. But they're certainly taking a flyer and taking a shot on him, and we'll see what happens.
Well, he's a man. He's 23 years old. He's going to be 23 years old when they tip the ball off. So I'd rather have a guy like that than a 17, 18-year-old kid.
Hey, Bino, let me ask you something. Dave said he doesn't like Huguenin at all. What do you think of Huguenin,
I didn't
Bino?
say that.
You find him a clown? You find him a clown, Bino? Do you find Huguenin a clown?
No, Tony. You know I like Huguenin a lot.
All right. Well, Dave doesn't like him. So, hey, Dave. Dave also said, Bino, that he doesn't think the wide receivers not being out there. He thinks that's kind of overblown. Bino, how about you? Do you think that's overblown, or do you think that's kind of a concern that those guys at any one practice haven't been out there together?
No, I think it's becoming a concern, Tony, just simply because of the lack of depth, the lack of proven depth in our receiving core. And I'm just hopeful that some of these freshmen are going to who are very talented, are going to take the opportunity to maybe move a guy like Brazel, who can't get out there and isn't available, kind of move ahead of him.
Dave, if the Brazel guy worked at it, he would be a great player. He would play for, let me tell you this, he would play for Rick Barnes for about 5 minutes. Okay?
Yep.
5 minutes.
Yep.
Like 5 minutes.
He's got the Cameron Carr attitude.
5 minutes.
Y'all have a great day.
Yeah, thank you. And that's the difference between football and basketball. The difference between football and basketball is this. Basketball, I got 13 guys. And if one of them's not, doesn't go a million miles an hour, I just look at you, and Barnes looks at you and says, goodbye. In football, you got to put up with those guys. You have to. You have to keep the wheels on them. Isn't that an interesting thing about that sport, Bino? There's so many numbers in it. A buddy of mine owns a big company, and it's getting bigger.
Yeah.
And he said to me, he said, Tony, when you own bigger, when your company, and some of you understand this that work in bigger companies, the bigger you go into that pool, the more chance there is you're going to hire somebody that's a little nutty, somebody that doesn't get along with folks. When you have a smaller deal, you can control it better. But as it gets bigger, there's a chance for, you to get into that general population. There's a chance for you to get into some more high-strung or nuttier folks or whatever it is. And in the football deal, you need some of those guys. I mean, it's not ideal, but you need to figure out a way to keep the wheels on those people. It's an interesting thing.
Hey, Tony, real quick, just my hope for this receiving corps.
Yep.
Last year our big concern and the group that we were just all over was the secondary. And they wound up performing much better than any of us thought. And I understand we got a McCoy out of the transfer portal who was terrific, who was a big part of that. And we probably did not add that piece. Amari Jefferson's probably not going to give you a McCoy-type performance this year with a receiving corps. But it's my hope that this receiving corps is going to be much better than we think it's going to be. And then going into next year, maybe we'll look at it like we're looking at the secondary this year, like it could be a strength.
I hope you're right. And the other thing is, I hope they learn from this, and I hope they add. Because the thing they've done in their secondary that I'm really impressed with is, and I was talking to somebody about this the other day that really knows, not only do they have frontline guys, but they've got guys waiting in the wings that they're growing. And I hope that they will address the same way they've addressed the secondary in the portal. I hope they go and address the wide receiving core in the portal the same way, Bino. If you look around the league, every team in this league that is attempting to play at a high level, including Auburn, who already has excellent wide receivers, added someone of substance out of the transfer portal at that position. I mean, it's 2025. This is a modern era.
The reason I believe they will, Tony, is they always did prior.
It's weird.
I mean, for that receiving core,
Yeah,
I just think they thought for whatever reason coming into this year, that they either could not find the right guy, that when they missed on their first couple, they just didn't think there was anybody else out there, or they had a high degree of belief in this group, and we're going to find out if that was right or if that was wrong.
I got to shout it out loud, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to picture this. I'm on one of these exercise balls, and I'm weightless right now, which means my head is upside down. This is my first ever in 30-plus years live read doing something upside down. So here we go. My friends at VIP Play are going to turn things upside down when we get to your football season. We're 8 days away. 8 days on the road, and I'm going to make it home tonight. Listen, you make your first bet, $5 or more, $100 in bonus bets instantly. The promo code is TNTony. Bino will tell you the interface is very easy to use. They're going to have all kinds of interesting bets up there, special bets, specialty bets around Tennessee football, around the SEC action. Remember, they were the first sports book in the state to accept wagers on all look-ahead lines for Vol football. as they aim to please and try harder, and everybody gets treated, Jim Peters, like a VIP at VIP Play, where 200 leagues are live, numerous bet types, props, and options. And the VIP Play team is going to take great care of you. Shout them out, Willie Heflin. And if you have a gambling problem, 800-889-9789, 21 and over, located in the great state of Tennessee to place a bet. And let's go back to the phone. Sam joins us now. He's a mid-state mauler. Sam, welcome in, brother. How you doing?
Good, man. Still up here in Syracuse. It's not as hot today, thank God.
You're in. So you're telling me Syracuse is pretty country in the summer?
It's beautiful. I mean, it looks exactly like East Tennessee.
Mm-hmm. You know what you ought to do, Sam? You ought to book yourself a trip like I did and go there the second week of December and get back to me. That damn place feels like Siberia. But I'm glad it's
that's
nice
why I
now.
booked my work trips in Florida in December.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Now we're talking. That's a man that's working it.
We got to
I like
be smart
that.
about this.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm certainly not going to book a trip to Michigan because I'd probably get into an argument with some of their fans after today.
I guarantee
I'm not
you.
overly surprised.
No, they're going to tell you it was above board and it never happened. Those people really – Michigan fans are a cult. I mean, let's just call this what it is. Bino, we've known some of those people down through the years. They're very cultish. They really believe they're different. They really believe it. These Michigan people really believe it.
It's kind of league wide too, Sammy. I was thinking, Tony, about, remember, let's see, what did they have? Their division titles were what?
The Legends. The Legends League, and what was the other one, Bri? Leaders and Legends. The Leaders and Legends.
Leaders and Legends. When it should have been Sadducees and Pharisees.
Ah! What a great line.
Oh, Lord.
Sam, F those
agree.
people. I say F those people. They get on my last nerve. I can't stand misplaced arrogance. Look, it's kind of like why I took off on Brian Rice yesterday. If you want to be arrogant, fine. Be like, have a reason to be arrogant. If you want to be arrogant and you're them and you're looking down on the SEC and you're doing the exact same stuff, in fact, that is totally egregious what they did with that Connor Stallions guy. I mean, that is beyond cheating. That's cheating that would make the guys of yesteryear in NASCAR blush, Bino. I mean, come on.
Anytime you put somebody in disguise and put them on the sidelines, I don't know. I just find that kind of humorous.
And the damn guy looked like Ted Lasso over there. That was the best thing about it.
Yeah, the whole thing about the scandal is it doesn't happen in a vacuum. It's not like, okay, we didn't steal the signs for the national championship game, therefore it's legit. Every game you play leading up to that, it leads up to your team being able to play that game. I mean, to me, this is a good example. Florida State goes 13-0. Mm-hmm. They get shafted. The team quits the next year. Mm-hmm. Every game matters for the next one you play. So for them to say that the sign stealing didn't affect the national championship game or that it's legit is just, I don't believe it.
Well, and let's face facts here. They got us out of the playoffs, some believe, by sharing that stuff with South Carolina. We could have beaten that Michigan team. If we could have gotten in that 14 playoff, we could have beaten that bunch. Come on now. We'd have boat raced them. Let's call it what it is today.
That South Carolina game, we were like a 26-point favorite, lost by almost 30. 50-something point spread. It's like a 0.005% chance of that happening. And then they beat Clemson the next week. So I don't believe it was above board at all.
Exactly. And because Clemson was one of the scouted teams too, Bino. Spencer Rattler woke up and got religion, Bino, for 2 games.
Because they had the film. I mean, that is – I'm not trying to fire anybody up, but that obviously is what happened. Obviously.
Hey, it's a good thing I was on hold for a while because I was really fired up in the beginning, so I'm kind of tempering.
Well, we should rip these people, man.
But anyways, all right, so let's expound on the schedule a little bit more. Right, we said the other day we got 8 weeks to get the passing game going.
Yep.
Our big games, Georgia, early in the year.
Yep.
Gunnar Stockman's first SEC game on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Oklahoma, it's in the middle of their hardest stretch.
Mm-hmm.
Florida, on the back end of their hardest stretch. The only one that's kind of just fine, I guess you could say, is Alabama. That was just a straight-up game. This schedule sets up so good for us.
Mm-hmm.
It really does. I don't see 8-4. That would be an extreme disappointment to me because I think from top to bottom at each position group, you can look at secondary, deeper, linebacker group, more experienced, deeper, defensive line, equal. Apple just said it, deepest running back room we've had. Yet they just have to hit on some semblance of a passing game, and I truly believe this is a team that's going back to the playoffs. I 100% believe it.
Wow. I wish I could share your – Bino, do you share that unbridled optimism, which I love, Sam? Sam brings it, man. I love him.
I love the sunshine, especially at this point in the season. No, I picked them to win 9 games, Tony. I think this is an 8 or 9 win football team.
Mm-hmm.
I do think, however, that when you're really good defensively, and we have an opportunity to be really good defensively, I don't think the game's changed so much that if you're really good defensively and you can run the football, you've always got a chance. And I think Tennessee's going to do both of those things.
Sam, you're the man. Much love to you.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I guess why would the defense be any worse than last year when the majority of it's back? And the only place they really lost production is the defensive line.
I think we're going to be better on that side, Sam. And we were good last year.
Yeah, we're going to be
better. Because our linebacking core is now experienced, and I think our secondary is going to be better this year than they were last year.
Yep.
And the defensive line's always going to be good.
And that won 10 games.
The issue this year, though, is going to be who are your playmakers on offense, and your quarterback play is going to be going to be uneven. That's all, and that's part of it. You know, when Nico walked out the door, he made things a lot harder on himself, and he made things harder on us. And I'm not afraid to admit that because that's a big part of what you're doing. You know, and you got a quarterback in Joey football who has a propensity to turn it over, and that scares me because when you get in these SEC games, these really great coordinators figure out a way to get the ball out of the hands of a guy like that. They just do. So I have to see it to believe it. I love that you're where you are. I think it's great. And I want you to be right, man. I don't want my feeling to be on the money here. I feel like an 8-4 team's coming. And the other thing I don't want to do is I don't want to say 10-2 and throw all kinds of like undue expectation on the head coach at all because I'm not sure if it's fair to expect to go 10-2, Sam, with everything that's happened here. But maybe it is. Maybe you're right, man. Maybe it is. Maybe it is.
Yeah, I mean,
fair.
I'm not going to be. If we go 8-4 in certain circumstances cause that, I'm not going to be down on Heupel.
Right.
But I just think the most likely scenario, if things are equal across the league, is that we can get to 9 or 10 games with the defense and run game and tight ends.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I do like hearing that Oklahoma's had some struggles on offense putting their stuff together. And you still have that Mateer story, which I don't know if it's real or not, but in this day and age of some of the stuff that we've already seen, who knows if something like that turns real? Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, that's the second layer to all this.
Absolutely.
Oklahoma's had struggles. Florida's had receiver injuries. And
no
Iowa's
doubt, man.
Injury prone.
No doubt.
You know, So
But
we'll see.
I
I'm
appreciate
happy.
you. Great call, man. Thank you. Always good hearing from you. Safe travels in beautiful Syracuse in the summer and Siberia in the winter. Bino, have you ever been up in those parts? Go ahead, buddy.
No, I have not, Tony. I've been. I think the only area of New York I've ever been in is New York City. I've never been anywhere else.
Upstate New York is beautiful. The Finger Lakes region up there, Rochester's absolutely a gorgeous place. Albany is a beautiful place. It's all very, very pretty, but man, is it cold. You go wrong time of the year, and damn, goodness gracious, is that place depressing. Let's take a brief time out. We'll come back. 865-200-5402. If you want to join, we continue with more on this Friday right after this.
Guests appear on the TLD Logistics Hotline. Online at tldlogistics.com.
Whether it's baseball, football, softball, church groups, or schools, if you're raising money, do it with locally roasted Grade A Grounds coffee. I'm Billy Miller, a Vol alum and Knoxville native. You keep 40% of sales, and we donate 5% back to our East Tennessee community. Get started today by visiting our website at gradeagrounds.com.
Although summer is almost over, the last thing you want during sweltering heat is a broken air conditioner or HVAC system. That means it's more important than ever to keep you and your family comfortable and safe during extreme East Tennessee weather. Don't ignore the warning signs that your AC is struggling or nearing the end of its lifespan. And if you need emergency HVAC repairs, routine preventative maintenance, or want to invest in a new system, then call the trusted HVAC experts at Pipe Wrench Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. This month, get up to a $1,000 discount when you buy and install a new air conditioner or HVAC system. We make it easy with free on-site estimates for replacements and free second opinions on repairs. And if budgets are tight, we offer flexible payment plans including 0% financing with credit approval. Be sure to ask about our 10-plus year warranties that are 2 times longer than industry standards so you don't spend a cent on unexpected costs in the future. So call Pipe Wrench at 865-264-8090 or book online at pipewrench.com to schedule your appointment today. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Life never stops moving, and between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to Grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up, a tire designed for doers, a tire that's going to last, like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire. Basilio here for Budget Transmissions. TGMD, the great Matt Dixon, took his Ford Escape to budget, and like our gold bullet back in the day, it was a total mess. And now, Matt's back in the game. He's got a new transmission, axle, wheel bearing, both radiator hoses, engine mounts, coolant hoses. I mean, his Ford Escape was about to escape to the junkyard, but he didn't begrudge it. He took it to budget, and now he's on his way back to Omaha. Budget Transmissions, over 30 years in business, conveniently located in Bearden. All extended service contracts are honored. A gold certified Repair Pal member. 865-584-4391. 865-584-4391. Budget Transmissions. Don't begrudge it. Take it to budget.
Hey there, Basilio family. Jennifer Morse here with Keller Williams Realty. The countdown to fall football is on. Is your fall plan missing the perfect home to watch the Vols make another playoff run? If a new view is on your game day checklist, I'm ready to help you find it. Don't wait until kickoff. Give me a call today at 865-694-5904 or visit my website at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Basilio here reminding you that when you want to sell your extra tickets to the game, you don't want to give your life away online with all your personal information just because you want to sell a few extra tickets. Clark Moore at Select Ticket Service will gladly buy your extra game tickets and your extra parking passes. And the best part? Clarky Boy pays cash. 865-919-1016. 865-919-1016. Clarky Boy pays cash at Select Ticket Service. Clarky Boy pays cash. Tony B here with the great Zakai Ziegler for Advent.
Hey, whoa. Tony, I got this. Hey, Tennessee, it's Easy here. Next time you have an electric issue at your home or business, call my friends at Advent Electric. With offices in Knoxville and Nashville, it's Mama's Easy approved.
You heard it from the most electrifying player in the league. Call the service professionals at Advent Electric, 865-588-0631. Online, adventelectric.com. Tell them ZZ sent you.
Tony B back with you, 865-200-5402. Welcome you back. About 10 to play. Let's go back to our phones without further ado. Unless Bino has a thought left over from our last segment. Do you have a thought left over, Bino, before we go back to the phones?
I'm good, Tom.
All right, let's grab Mark in Dallas, who's up next. 8 days out from the beginning of the college football season. Week cero, as they say in España. In week settle. Mark in Dallas, welcome in.
Hey, sir. Happy Beano Friday. I am delighted that I'm finally able to call in. I've been waiting weeks to make this call.
Let's go.
I am going to – I come bearing gifts. I want to clear up something for the caller, William, and then I want to offer a solution to the 8-game schedule, no divisions, what about our lost rivalry games conundrum. So to quickly catch up, maybe Bino and some others, William called in weeks ago talking to Tony and John Adams about you remember the SEC standings on FoxSports.com with everybody's 0-0 right now. Obviously.
Yeah, one of my favorite calls of all time. Yep.
Yes, it's but for all other calls to be judged by. So I'm looking right now. The Fox has Missouri number 1, then Oklahoma, then Texas. So it sounded like William was thinking, well, they're not in alphabetical order, so this must represent some sort of prediction. And he was hashing out with John. I can explain all this. I have my own computer ranking system. I mention it just to say that for the sake of computer coding, I assigned every school in the country a number, like an ID, like an identification. And just because it's easier in computer coding to refer to teams by that number, like within a variable, for the purpose of updating and storing data. I think that's what Fox's tech people did years ago. And that number has to stay constant through realignment because that way you can connect to past seasons. So if William were to look at it again, he'd notice, and I noticed this the instant, like while I was listening to this call, I figured it out right away. If you notice, they've got the 4 former Big 12 schools first. Then they got the 6 that were in the East back when we were a 12-team league. Then the 6 in the West. That's alphabetical. Big 12, SEC East, SEC West. And within each of those groups, everybody's alphabetical. That's why Missouri's listed first. So basically, Fox distributed these numbers, these computer techie numbers I'm talking about. Fox distributed those back when Missouri was still in the Big 12. The numbers never changed. The day they distributed the numbers, it was alphabetical. And today, instead of listing all 16 schools alphabetically, which they could, but instead of bothering to do that, they're just listing them in order of those numbers from 10, 15 years ago. There you go. That's why Missouri's number 1 in the FoxSports.com preseason conference football standings.
Mark, the fact that you have decoded that proves beyond a shadow of a doubt you really should be calling someone other than Tony.
You said it, Bino. I didn't. I was thinking, yeah. Bino's probably thinking, yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, Mark. Yeah, it was part of the coding.
It's the show. If there is a factual question and Brian doesn't have the answer, somebody in the audience will. Doesn't matter what the question is.
True. If Brian doesn't have the answer, it better be somebody in the audience.
Yeah, that was well put, Mark. Well played.
A 8-game schedule. I really want to hear what you all think of this. So, it's been reported on this show that if they go to a 9-game schedule, so you got 15 possible, SEC opponents. It's been reported on this show that if they go to the 9-game schedule, it'd probably be 3 permanent and 6 rotating out of the other 12. Or if it's an 8-game schedule, it eventually would be 1 permanent, 7 rotating out of the other 14. In either case, it takes 4 years to get a home and home with everybody. But at 8 games, oh my gosh, we're losing even more annual games, including Tennessee, Alabama. So how does this sound? 8, and bear with me because the numbers will work out. 8 games, 3 permanent opponents, 4 rotators out of the other 12. So it would take up to 6 years for a home and home with everybody. That might sound slow, but that is actually still twice as fast as what we were doing when we had 14 teams and divisions. It used to take 12 to get to every stadium. And the reason Georgia's never been to A&M, I think it goes back to when I think initially Missouri or Arkansas was not playing Missouri every year, and then they switched it so that they would. So they had to switch other stuff, and I think that created the anomaly that Georgia in over 12 years playing going out there. But anyway, back to my point. 3 permanent, 4 rotating, and then that 8th game could be a year-to-year flex. They could do a number of things with it. They could do competitive balance. They could look at the 7 games you already have, and they could use the 8th game to try to balance things out. Or they could do like NFL. They could go best on best and say if you were last year's champion, you're going to draw the best available opponent. Or they could use that 8th game to pick up a rivalry game that's not permanent. They could even give some of the teams in the league a 4th permanent opponent doing that. What do you think?
Bino, I have to think about it, but it sounds really good to me, Bean Star.
Mark, like Tony said, the conference is bloated so much now that you wonder how many games within the league it would take to make things more competitively balanced from a schedule standpoint. I don't think you could do it with any less than Brian's 10, and they're never going to that. We can forget that. Anything that you can figure out that kind of saves everyone's major their historical rivalry, anything that saves that and somehow gets you into the rotation where you play teams more often in the league than we've become accustomed to, I would be for. And it sounds like yours does that. The only thing that would be better is the 7-1. And again, that's bound to rob some historical rivalries when you go 7-1.
The component, Mark, that I like that you bring up is the haves play the haves. In other words, if you're one of those teams that finishes at the top annually, because you're going to invest in it if you finish at the top or near the top annually, why shouldn't you play a tougher schedule than Vanderbilt? That's what the NFL does. I mean, if you're, and then if you're a loser, you play a last place schedule, and it kind of lets you have a better run at a successful year. Now, it doesn't always end up that way, But I do like that. I like that component of it, personally. The Habs should play harder schedules. There's no reason for Vanderbilt and Arkansas to be playing two of the toughest schedules in the country. That doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, what are we doing?
Yeah, and they could be formulaic about it in terms, there could be an objective criteria in terms of, who you would pick up as that eighth opponent. And as far as like further balancing things out, like what threw off the balance of these schedules was just the getting rid of the divisions. Because when you had divisions, and I know how like not every division is created equally. You pointed out that the Big Ten West was a problem, but at least when you had divisions, you had the most of your schedule. You had a group of teams that were all playing the same teams, and now now it's all over the place. Well, when they do something like this, like first they're good. The three permanents. It's going to be what Bino said. It's going to be about protecting games. Personally, I recommend as one objective criteria to help you pick the three games is just look at how long certain games have been played continuously. Like this game's been played continuously for 50 years. This game's been played continuously for 90 years. And it's been a while since I looked it up, but our three longest, I don't remember which is first, but our longest running continuously played games, not including World Wars, is some order of Kentucky, Vanderbilt, and Alabama.
True.
But anyway, once you set the three permanents based on rivalry games, they could, when they set the order of everybody's four rotators, they could intuitively do a have-not thing based on that. Like, like two of our permanents are not two of the halves. So maybe they'd cluster the rotators to make sure we don't have a year where we've got not enough halves. That kind of thing. You spread it out.
Yeah, I love it. It sounds like it's doable. And if you give Greg Sankey any ideas, then you're going to keep us from playing that ninth league game, which I think is what they want, because they're not going to do that until they get the revenue. It's kind of like Bino was saying, this thing with Nike and Adidas. Fans can cry all they want about how they don't want Adidas, but they're paying 4 times the money. There's not an athletic department in the country. Look, if Converse came forward and said, your guys got to wear Converse Chuck Taylors, okay, for basketball this year, the basketball team, if they paid them $16 million, would be wearing Converse Chuck Taylors. That's how this works. So they're not going to go to that ninth game, Mark, until they see the money in it. I believe that to be the case. And so I love what you've laid out there. It's very well thought out, man.
Thanks for hearing it.
Yeah, I'd love for you to email that to me. I'd love to run that in the blog next week and let people see it.
Yeah.
Commonfan@gmail.com. Lay it on me.
Now we need is for the league to read they read the blog.
Everybody reads the blog. Everybody reads the blog. Yeah. Yes. Thank you, my brother. Great talking to you. And Mark there in Dallas. We're going to do a quick overtime, a TLD Logistics overtime. We'll get a couple more calls in and then get on with our life's work this afternoon. Chuck Knoll. In the meantime, I want to thank all of our wonderful guests who joined us today. Laid it down, broke it down scientifically with you. We'll continue our conversation. Check out tclub.team today. Great blog up. Throat's got some thoughts. And we'll continue to track things. When news breaks out, we break in. In the meantime, love you. Have a great weekend.
WJBE 1040 AM, 99.7 FM.
Translator W259AB.
Powell, Knoxville.
It's TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime, presented by TLD Logistics. Online at tldlogistics.com. And now let's go to the guys with today's edition of TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime.
I'll tell you what, Beanstar, Mark in Dallas put a lot of thought into that, man. That's pretty good stuff right there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's above my level, but it's interesting stuff.
I like the idea too of implementing, because your league's big enough to do this. The haves playing more of the haves, and the have-nots playing more of the have-nots. Because the have-nots aren't going to get to the playoffs anyway. So what's the point? Let them play the have-nots, and let the teams that spend play better football games. It only makes sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, that one flex game is really interesting. Really interesting idea.
Which is kind of what the NFL does, when you get right down to it. The NFL has a model, and even with the NFL's model, and the NFL gets kind of a, when you start seeing the way the way they lay that schedule out, but even they, the top teams continue to be the top teams, and the Cowboys continue to cowboy. Let's go back to the phones. No offense to the Cowboys. 865-200-5402. The Eagles and Cowboys open up in like 3 weeks, and Dallas fans, get your stuff out, get it ready, because it'll be back in mothballs in mid-October. But in the meantime, we go back to our phones, and let's get W. Lynn in here as we break it down scientifically on TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime, presented by our friends at TLD Logistics. Lynn, how you doing?
How my French compatriots doing today?
There we are, brother.
Hi, W. Lynn.
I'm gonna tell you what, Mark ought to be either working for the CIA, the College Football Playoff Committee, or the Publishers Clearinghouse.
He a sharp guy, isn't he?
Yeah, and I got all that down. I wrote it. I got it all figured out. I kind of took
Did
notes.
you? Regurgitate it back to us. I want to hear what I think I just heard.
Okay, you have 3 permanent opponents.
Right.
You take that out of the 15, that leaves 12 teams.
Right.
So you break them into 3 groups of 4, and you rotate them home and away. Thus, you will play every team home and away once in 6 years. And then your 8th game is based on how they finished the year before, where a team, say, in the top half would play another team in the top half. Team in the bottom half would play another team in the bottom half.
Bino, W. Lynn wrote that down. He wrote that down, Bino.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Those back-to-back calls, I knew we were going to have graduate level schedule breakdown with those two.
I also wrote down Bino's quote that I'm going to use against any Big Ten fan I ever see again. Pharisees and Sadducees divisions.
Those people are a real joke. W. Lynn, do you know any of those people? Because I do. They really think they're superior to us. It's crazy.
Oh, I about got into it with one outside my dermatologist office in 2024 when we were, or 2022 we were having. When did they win the national title? That was 23. Yeah,
yep, 23.
I come out in the parking lot and I got a Tennessee shirt on and big patch over my head where they cut some stuff off of me. And this guy, he's with his sister because I can overhear his conversation. Got a big Michigan shirt on. Well, he looks at me and then he starts talking louder, and I can tell when somebody's doing that on purpose. So he's walking to the car, and I walk by, and he says to his sister, "Yeah, our stadium holds 107,000. Tennessee gave up because they knew they could never catch us." I stopped, did a complete about face, walked over to him and said, "Sir, we quit going over 100,000 because we wanted everybody to be comfortable in our stadium. It wasn't a rat race." And he didn't have much to say, and he just got in his car.
Wow.
But it irritated me, Tony. It really did, you know.
Two guys coming out of the dermatologist, Bino, that almost ended up in the emergency room. You got to love it. College football.
I love that. That is college football right there.
Yeah.
I started thinking if that'd been me in Pine about 30 years ago, I don't know if we knew where that guy would be right now. But
emergency room.
It wouldn't have taken 30 years ago for Pison.
No, it was. But, Tony, I was glad to hear Bino called you because I called you about our great soccer win over #1 North Carolina yesterday.
Yep, Bino called right after UW Lynn saying, did you see that? I mean, the way those gals played was so inspirational. So inspirational, man.
Kicks off. A lot of people that I've talked to didn't realize that that's the beginning of the 25-26 UT Sports scheduling of all college games. That was our first thing, and it was a win over a #1 team, which we'd never done before.
Brian Hartman, do you find that worth celebrating here in early August, that occurred?
Yeah, I think that puts everything on the right foot. That sets the tone, hopefully, for a very successful year.
And we invited Joe Kurt on today, but he was in meetings. He appreciated the invite, but he's in meetings.
Well, that's good to know. Bino, to answer your question, I've been going through 3 magazines about and these bowl ties are so confusing. Between the Citrus Bowl and the Texas Bowl, there's about 4 bowls that are higher. The old Outback Bowl, ReliQuest, the Gator Bowl, the Duke Mayo Bowl, and the Music City Bowl, which Butch Jones tried to claim was a New Year's Bowl victory, if you remember.
So are you telling me that that game in Houston is a 7-5 game? Is that what it is?
It's actually, you got 1, 2, 3, it's the 6th game outside the playoff.
So
and it's called the Kinder's Texas Bowl.
Would you have to have a 7-5 record or a 6-6 record to get in something like that?
You'd have to have one of those two, I'm convinced. Mm-hmm. Just looking at it, because that's not going to be good. And if you're going to have a bowl game in Houston, I think there ought to be a law that says it has to be called the Blue Bonnet Bowl, for Pete's sake.
I agree with that. Because everything's better with Blue Bonnet on it.
Hello?
Everything's better with Blue Bonnet on it, W. Lynn.
Yes, it is, and Bino and I remember that. I think, Bino, that was the first bowl game you and I can really remember, wasn't it? The Blue Bonnet Bowl win over Tulsa?
That's the first bowl game that I remember, W. Lynn, yes.
Did they have the ISO light back then, Bino, or is that too late, too soon for the ISO light?
That was a little before the ISO light, Tony. Ms. Lou wasn't there yet.
The great Ray Scott used to call those games on New Year's Eve, never forgotten by the living fan.
But, these bowl games, the Big Ten in one of these magazines has 5 tie-ins, and it says, if a former Pac-12 team.
Wow.
Can you believe that?
It's really idiotic what we've done to our college football. But W. Lynn, you're my man. I'm glad you broke Mark and Dallas down scientifically. I almost understand it now. Let's go back to our phones on TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime. I'm on my mat right now doing my exercises as we speak. That's why I sound like this. I'm doing the child's pose, ladies and gentlemen. Those of you that want to picture that at home, moving left to right across your device. Rusty, how you doing?
I'm good, brother. Hope you're healing up.
Yeah, man,
quickly.
Stretching out here. Yes, sir.
Hey, couple things I wanted to take off on, and I'll try to be quick. Sure. One is the Adidas versus Nike thing, and you guys have nailed it. The money's what matters. People that keep trying to say one's superior product over the other one, it's like when I was a kid and I would have idiot buddies talk about Ford versus Chevy, and how one was superior based on their daddy and what their daddy drove, and it's so stupid. These things, I mean, both companies make the same product. One's just got a different logo than the other one. It's children in China somewhere making this stuff.
Yeah.
It's not any different.
It's pretty true, man. I mean, look, marketing is a powerful, powerful thing. And that swoosh just has some power behind it. But they've spent billions building that brand, Rusty. Billions.
Let's be honest. That swoosh is massive because this hot basketball player, they put all their chips in his basket.
Yep.
And they hit it big with him, even though he's a bad human being who wouldn't pay his gambling debts and got his dad killed. And then the other chips they put in was for a golfer who was not the highest character dude that's ever lived. It's made them be sexy. That's really what it is.
What do you think, Bino? What do you think of Nike stuff? Because I wear New Balance. I don't pay attention.
Love New Balance. Love ON. Love Saucony.
Love that shoe, man.
Yep.
As I told you, Tony, just from college football apparel for a fan, I preferred Nike to Adidas, but I would never expect the University of Tennessee to accept a whole lot less money to stay with Nike than go with Adidas.
Yeah.
The other thing I don't understand about fans is, Rusty, you can go to on the Alumni Hall right now and get stuff from Peter Millar, stuff from Champion, stuff from Turtleson, stuff from all these other designer brands. You don't have to buy Nike or Adidas. I mean, there's many different possibilities of things that we can wear these days. You know, when I was a kid, the only shirt you could have was it said "Property of the Philadelphia Eagles." If you guys remember those shirts.
Oh yeah,
now
love
you
them.
got I love those things. Now you got so many choices.
The only thing I can say for sure is Adidas makes far superior slides. I wear slides pretty much all the time unless I'm having to be professional. And the Adidas slides are so much more comfortable. That's the only take I can give on the situation.
California love,
I've tried both. I have some Nike Tennessee branded slides. They're not at all comfortable, but I got them because, they had a T on them and whatnot. As far as this team goes, I wish this was a year like last year where we had Bama and Florida at home and Georgia on the road. I would give us a shot at 10-2 if it was that way. But I think 9-3 is going to happen because we have Georgia at home. We've lost one game at home in 3 years. It's to Georgia. We can't beat them for whatever reason. We cannot do it. The best we played them was last year, I think, under Heupel, because we had a lead for a large portion of the ball game at halftime even. But having to go to Florida, Bama, and then play Georgia at home, we're gonna probably lose 3 ball games. But I think the offense is going to be just as good as last year's, which isn't great. We ran the ball like champs, but I think we'll run the ball like champs again, and I think our quarterback play will be as good at worst. And I think even though we're replacing 4 starters on the O-line, it's going to be as good. Brooks Austin said yesterday, dirty little secret is Cooper Mays wasn't very good. In all his breakdowns, Cooper Mays was pretty average and got the offense line in the right checks, but didn't block very well. And God knows right tackle and right guard were horrendous last year. Can't be any worse. And I think the defense will be basically the same. So this team could go 10-2 if the schedule had Florida and Bama and Knoxville and Georgia on the road. But it's, it is what it is.
It's also schedule dependent, man. It really is. And
of course.
It's going to be a lot of fun. This is going to be a lot of fun. This season is going to be here, there, and everywhere. The just the unexpected nature of all this and how it's going to happen again. It's made college football a very, very interesting product.
Oh, it's so much fun, man. Hey, speaking of fun, I know you love the beautiful game Today, the Premier League kicks back off at 3 p.m. your time on USA. I know you love I know you love the pageantry of college football like I do, and you love the beautiful game like I do. Flip it over to USA at noon. Be there 5 minutes before noon to watch the pageantry when Liverpool come out as defending champions and start the Premier League season, and just watch that crowd and how great the atmosphere is. It's going to be a good time today. I can't wait.
Brian Hartman, when are you going to do that? When are you going to go across the big pond and go see your Crystal Palace boys, Bri?
It isn't on a bucket list.
What? What? People that I know that have gone say it's just unbelievably magical. Yeah, I believe that. And I'll tell you something, as sports fans, we as sports fans could go anywhere. If there's enough passion around it, we would get pulled into it. We would learn these games. We would gravitate to these communities. I like in the thing that exists in England are those second division teams that mean so much to those small towns. The whole thing is
they rise up.
I love it.
Good, man.
So cool.
But
what a cool sport.
Oh, as much as Brian loves Crystal Palace, he needs to get over there and go to a match. I went to Anfield to watch Liverpool at home. I went to Stamford Bridge to watch Liverpool at Chelsea.
Wow.
It's incredible, man. It's sick. It's so daggone good. It's the only atmosphere that comes close to college football.
Isn't that amazing?
Yep.
Thank you, Rusty. Good talking to you.
Love you, buddy. Feel better soon, man.
3 o'clock this afternoon, 3 Eastern Time, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages on USA Network. Brian Hartman, are you excited for the U.S. Open Cup? The Union next month are going to be in Nashville. And I've been invited by a guy that has a suite down there to go down there and watch it, Bri. Are you excited for the U.S. Open Cup semifinal, Bri?
Didn't know it was happening.
Well, you're a loser. Bino, do you have any fun? Bino, you know that if you and I went to an English Premier League game and you walked in that arena or that one of those stadiums and felt how powerful, how much pageantry those people had and how much passion they had for it, you know you'd walk out of there a fan, right? That's just how the stuff is.
Yeah, I would certainly walk out there a much bigger fan than I am today, Tony. That you know, pageantry and some of the best in the world doing what they do.
Yep.
That's got appeal to it.
I've had people say that about this show, you know.
No question.
Interesting. Any final thoughts, Bino, on the way out? You've been incredible.
Tony, it's good to be back with you, and I'm praying for you to get some relief from your back pain. Just keep doing what you're doing, and you'll get there.
Bino, much love to you. Bri, incredible job today. I was just telling Laura we need to go. She goes, Tony, you slept 4 hours last night. You need to go get some sleep. And I'm like, no, we need to go do that. She's like, yeah, and you need to go lay down. So I'm pretty hardcore, y'all. I'm pretty hardcore. I'm trying to get up and go. In the meantime, I love you. I appreciate you. I thank you. I say to you, G to the B to the O. And it's glad that we got to spend the day with Bino. Peace.
Later, W259AB.
Powell, Knoxville.
TB and Hughes, who welcome you to another edition. It is a Wednesday. It's a Noah's Ark Wednesday here in East Tennessee. I tell you, it is absolutely just blasting here. I hope we can get through today's show without losing our power. And maybe we take up a collection for a Generac. Maybe we're going to need one before it's over. Because I'm telling you, it is blasting out here. But that's it for Tennessee's open practices. For the rest of camp, everything's closed from here on out. So the media doesn't have to be exposed to it anymore, I guess you could say. And they don't have to be exposed to the media. But and that